Folks, what we're facing here is a weekend, and we're gonna make the most of it. Every single minute of this weekend. We're gonna show this weekend who's boss. We're gonna figure out how to take advantage of every minute of it. We're gonna cook more, we're gonna design more, and we're gonna plant more. And when we're finished, we're gonna show this weekend who's boss. So are you people with me? Well, maybe I've gone a little overboard. Come on, let's get started. Every week there are contests and giveaways on my Facebook page. A little while back, we gave fans a chance to win a backyard oasis, which included a new water pond and landscape makeover. Linda D'Amico from New Jersey was the lucky winner. Take a look at what we did, and make sure you like my page for your chance to win.
A big truck just pulled up with a machine. They're going to dig a new pond for me, waterfall feature, and Alan is going to come and put some beautiful plants, and we're very excited.
Before you start planning it, before you do anything, is call 811 or your local authorities to check where any of your gas lines, water lines, electrical lines. This area that you choose, you want to have about 70% sunlight, just for the natural balance of the pond. To begin, we just took the dirt that we took out of the pond and we started building a mound on the side of the pond where we wanted to have the spillway, which is the filter box that's going to power the waterfall. We put a bag of cement underneath it, and the moisture from the dirt is actually going to harden that cement. We wanted to have a perfectly level base to put the spillway on. We level that out, so within that spillway filter box, you'll have mechanical and biological media to filter the water. And then what we did is we cut out little shelves in the dirt. Once you have your location and you have your pond dug, we install an underlayment. It helps support the liner and it stops rocks from coming up, so it's an extra protective layer for the liner. So we unroll the liner and then just fold it out, and then you immediately start filling it up with water. The important thing is what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have as few wrinkles as possible.
When you're in here, when it's shallow, you walk around and you can feel if there's something like he just found that sharp edge. It helps to find those a little bit better, so you can pull them out. With waders, you can't. But usually your feet just go numb and it's good. This is really cold water. First stone going into the pond. First placement. Only about 2,000 more to go.
They're putting a layer of rocks along the base of the shelf. And what that does is that helps hold the liner, and then it just it's the first step in landscaping your pond area. The goal is to make it look like it was supposed to be there. Now, the higher your waterfall, the more sound you're going to get from it, and really that's what makes a waterfall. It's the sound of the running water. So this one is going to have about 2,000 gallons of water running over it an hour. So that's going to create a lot of sound. So you can see that the water spills over 3 steps before it gets into the pond.
We're hiding the liner that comes out from the actual installation, and we take either smaller pea gravel, river rock, edge it out, helps to add a little security to it. We'll create a border, so if we want to bring mulch or other ground cover up to the area where the stone is, it'll blend in very nicely.
So we basically have 3 pieces of equipment that run this entire pond and water feature. This is a Laguna Max Flow solid handling pump. What this does is this takes all the water that we need, it's about 2,400 gallons an hour, and it's going to take the water and then push it into our pressure flow filter. It's really simple to set up. What it does, it has biological, mechanical, filtration. All of this stuff is really simple to hook up. All you need is a couple hose clamps, a screwdriver, and a knife to cut the hose. So your pond is almost complete. You've dug the hole, you've installed the liner, you've done all the rocking, you put in your water feature. Now the final step is to do the aquascaping. It's really important to have aquatic plants in your pond, not only to give your pond shade, but also for the natural ecosystem within the pond. You can choose any variety you want. We chose these varieties because they're gonna do really well in this climate in this area. So we're gonna put this variegated rush right next to the waterfall. What we wanna do is have it basically frame the waterfall. And it's gonna, as the waterfall is running, water's gonna be dripping on this, and it's gonna look really great.
Now with the pond installation essentially complete, it's time to go to Twin Pond Farms, meet back up with Gary, and take a look at some plants. Now, there's so many to choose from. It's going to be fun assembling this landscape. I think you're going to love it, and I know Linda will. Let's go. So I'm thinking for Linda, we want a range of things, mainly perennials.
Okay.
But we also are going to want some shrubs. But I think it'd be cool to have something there for wildlife.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe even something to eat, some edibles.
Okay.
And then again, the perennials, because they come back year after year. So why don't we start with some structural plants, like you have some Japanese maples we could look
I got
at?
some really nice Japanese maples
Let's
that
take
will
a
work
look
out
at that.
real
Yeah.
well.
Oh, and I see some thyme over here too, so could we get some of this, Gary, to maybe work in the stone paths?
Yeah, that will work out real well. They can walk on it and it'll smell awesome as they go through the garden.
Yeah, marvelous, marvelous. To attract butterflies, I'd love to use some butterfly bush.
We have some right here.
Okay, great. Maybe some pink delight. I love that one.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'll give it a lot of nice color.
It would. Now, as far as the pond goes, I always like to have some things that are growing around the pond that gives a real vertical element, like irises or gara or anything that's really vertical. What about some of those things?
We have some beautiful irises out front.
Since the guys have finished up with the final touches, like mulching around all the plants and so forth, we're ready to show Linda. I think she's going to be really excited about the way it's finally all come together. Let's go get her. All right, see what you think.
Wow.
You like it?
Yes, it's beautiful.
It's quite a transformation, don't you think?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Oh my goodness. We've planted Russian sage and thyme between the walks.
And I also love the fact that there's blueberries for the children, which is native to New Jersey, which I
That's
love
right.
that.
It's kind of a hallmark plant for New Jersey.
And the Itea, which is also native. Actually, the blueberry commercial production was first started here in New Jersey.
Really?
Almost 100
I
years
didn't
ago.
know that.
Yeah, so
How
it's
interesting.
perfect
That
for
is
here.
marvelous. So you've got some edibles here.
Yep.
And then with the butterfly bush, you've got something that will attract some of those beautiful and beneficial
Yes,
insects.
absolutely.
Well, I'm so excited that you love it and that you're going to
Thank
enjoy
you.
this. Now you just need to make sure that you feed the fish.
I'm going to give that job to the kids because they'll love that. But you
That's
know,
good.
if you have a minute before you go, since it's a little southern thing for tea, how about we sit here and have a glass?
I would love that.
And enjoy the waterfall before you go?
Marvelous. That's what this is all about.
Wonderful, thanks.
Wonderful. Coming up, we're enlisting blogger Amy James to conquer cooking for the week. Here's the deal. You already have 100 things you've got to get done during the week when you get home from work. But my friend Amy James has a plan of attack where you can cook once and eat all week long.
I'm Amy James. I blog at oureverydaydinners.com. I blog about what I cook my family for dinner every night. There's 5 of us, and so I cook something nutritious and delicious as often as I can. It is a challenge to cook a new meal every single night. So one thing I like to do is cook a lot on a weekend and spread out the leftovers in new and different ways throughout the week. One thing I like to do is cook chicken breasts on a Sunday, and I can get one meal from the chicken breasts just as they are, and then save the leftovers, and I can make chicken fried rice. I can make chicken and black bean burrito bowls. I can use the chicken for a Cobb salad. And then I also roast some potatoes alongside the chicken, and I can make a pizza with those leftover potatoes. They're lemon, garlic, and herb potatoes. You start with 2 pounds of Yukon Gold potatoes, and then you cut them up into bite-sized pieces, and then you drizzle them with olive oil and sprinkle them with salt and pepper. You toss that together really well, and you put them in a 400-degree preheated oven for about 20 minutes until they start to brown. Then you pull them out of the oven, you chop up some garlic, toss the garlic together with the potatoes, you put them back into the oven, you cook them for about 10 more minutes until everything's nice and brown. Then when that all comes out of the oven, you grate up some lemon zest, some lemon juice, you chop up some chives, parsley, you can add other herbs if you want, you toss it all together, that's it. I like to cook the chicken on top of the stove, and then you transfer it into the oven to cook it all the way through, so it makes it a little bit less time consuming for you. So you can make a little pan gravy with some butter and a little chicken stock, pour it over the chicken, and then you can have your potatoes and the chicken together. And I also like to roast vegetables, squash, zucchini, whatever you have, just drizzle it with a little olive oil, salt and pepper, roast those too. And then you can also have the roasted vegetables. And so what I've done is I found a way to cook one time and just reuse it in completely different ways.
Overtake a flower bed and show a 160-mile yard sale what we're made of just after the break.
Come here, little devil.
You know, the weekend is a great time to hit yard sales. You can't believe the bargains you can find. I've rummaged through a lot of them and found some great stuff. A lot of people would call it junk, but the mother of them all is the garage sale called Bargains Galore on 64.
Bargains Galore on 64 is a group of antique collectibles and junk sellers that the second weekend of every August they gather on Highway 64 between BB and Fort Smith, Arkansas, and vend their wares to the public.
Bargain Galore on 64 is thumbs up.
I look for the bargain buy.
She's the bargain
hunter right here. I'm like a kid in a candy store right now. There's so much out here. And this is my favorite
That's
item.
her favorite.
A nice jacket for $1.
That's her favorite.
It's an annual thing. They do it every August. You'll find everything from old rusted out antiques to parts of things to new things with new sheets. You're not gonna find just anything. It's people scattered from all the way from Searcy to Van Buren, and there's going to be something along that way. And that's the fun of it, talking to the people. Well, there's some magnificent stories to be heard.
Yeah, I'm trying to get somebody to start themselves a marching band. I have a lot of hats here, and I have some uniforms.
To be a vendor, all you have to do in Morrilton is contact the sponsorship agency and we will rent you a 20-foot space on Highway 64 to vend your wares.
After the break, rally the troops for a 2-day garden makeover. Making a first impression is important, right? So here in my town garden, I wanted to make sure that the front steps and the beds, they looked really good. I think we accomplished it with the steps, with these containers cascading with all kinds of flowers, but I had a bed over here that really needed a makeover. It's a small bed. It's only about 5 feet by 10 feet. It had some existing plants in it that I wanted to keep. Some boxwoods at the back, some perennials in the way of ferns, toad lilies, and hostas, but it really needed a bunch of color that worked with the front steps like this. So here's where it gets interesting. I had this producer who said,
I really want to know how to garden, but I don't know how to. I have a black thumb. I can't grow anything.
I said, you can grow it, you can do it, I know you can. So I gave her a chance to fill in this bed with just a little direction. And you know what? She pulled it off. For our flower power, we chose Charmed Wind Oxalis, Rockapulco Rose Impatiens, and Catalina Pink Terrenia. All these plants were a perfect choice for the front bed. In planning the placement of the annuals, I had her lay the containers in zigzagged rows so they were evenly spaced and followed the natural line of the original greenery in the back of the bed. From there, she just moved from right to left, picking up a container, digging a hole, and placing the flower right where she wanted it in the pattern. Finally, she gave the bed a good watering. So I think she really did a great job. Look at the bed now, 1 month later since she planted the plants. They've all knitted together beautifully. What she learned was she had a greener thumb than she thought. She learned something about soil preparation and choosing the right plant for the right place. And she realized it really didn't take much time at all. This is the sort of weekend project that you could do to make over a bed in no time. Give it a try. Garden Style marches on just after the break. Now the key to finishing off a weekend of conquering is to step back and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Have a glass of iced tea or the drink of your choice and go outside and find that special place and enjoy all of the beauty you've created. For Garden Style, I'm Alan Smith.
I have a black thumb. I can't grow anything.
You gotta do it without laughing now.
I have a black thumb. I can't grow anything.
Come on, you can do it.
I have a black thumb. I can't grow anything. I'm so sorry. I want to never get this finished. Because I'm gonna sit here and laugh every time I look at that.
You're such a goober.